Ciao guys!
Ciao guys!
And welcome back to Lampis. In this video we are still on the very last day of our safari trip in
unfortunately
Namibia.
we are at the end of our trip.
Yes, and this video we want to share with you how much we spent on safari. Like how much does an African safari really cost?
Yes.
Yes, we are in Namibia at the moment. Waterberg Plateau Park, as you can see, the background, very beautiful. It's like
it's morning.
it's morning time. We just woke up and we wanted to shoot this video in a different environment other than just sitting in our apartment in Berlin. It's at the area, actually at the end of our safari trip. Today is the last day. Tomorrow Ali's flying back to Rome and I'll fly back to Germany in 3 days. Just before I go into detail, we are going to talk about flight tickets. If you're flying from Europe or the car, I think the two main things that really take up your money is the tickets, flight tickets, and the car. Yes. How much did we actually spend? Let's start with the flight tickets, which I think for a safari they are the most expensive part of your safari. From Europe, from Germany, from Europe, if you're flying from Rome, if you're flying from Amsterdam, Berlin, Munich, expect the flight for the flight ticket to be between 800 to 1,000.
Yes.
Of course, that price is impacted also by the season. Are you coming during the peak season or you coming during the Christmas season? So it depends on the season. If you come off season, maybe you might be lucky and pay
less.
Less is maybe 750. Let me put it that way. And also depend if you want to spend more time on the road. You know, some people wouldn't mind spending like 10 hours in Dubai. That's not me. Maybe when you take those flight tickets, then that's when you're at 600. But a normal flight ticket, Berlin, Amsterdam, Angola, Namibia, which is already about 17 hours, it's 800 to 1,000. The car. For a safari trip, you definitely need to rent a car. So either a 4x4 if you want comfort, or if you're really on a tight budget, then you rent a 2x4, like
2x4.
Yes, you know, like the vans, the normal cars.
Okay.
You don't know this?
No, 2x4.
2x4 or 4x4. So for our car, we spent 1,040 in euros. That is also a large chunk, but you know, the good thing about this, the car price, is that if you're traveling by yourself and you rent a 4x4, this price you have to pay it by yourself.
Yes, but you are 4 people, and you want to, of course, you're going to split the cost. Then it's going to come out like about 250
each
per person.
Yeah, this is good, and I have to highlight here. Remember, last time when we did our safari, it was just the two of us, and we spent 800 on a sedan. Because then we felt okay, a 4x4 was going to be expensive for 2 people. But this time we got a 4x4, but we didn't spend more.
No, we spent less actually.
Yes, because
250 because we were more people.
For our car, we got our car in Windhoek from Acacia Car Rentals. Very nice. I recommend it. They have amazing 4x4 and also manual and automatic. So if you're not used to driving a manual car, you may take automatic. And the other good thing is that they have a couple of connection to tow services. If you are stuck in Spitzkoppe, for example, then they can call the tow service that is close to you. I will leave the link to Acacia Car Rental in the description below in case you're booking. The next cost that I have here is accommodation. When it comes to accommodation, this is the second time we are doing safari together, and we always love to camp.
Yes.
Camping in Namibia is beautiful. I will leave a link up here if you don't know about camping in Namibia to watch that video.
That video, yes.
Absolutely amazing. So for our accommodation, we paid 750 euros in total so far. And that's also fine because that means then you share the price with other 3 people and it's quite affordable.
Yep.
It's for 15 days.
Yes,
and for 4 people.
For 4 people.
Yes. But I wanted to highlight here, if you are Namibian and you want to camp, how much is that in Namibian dollars? An example. So I'm just going to check briefly on the Excel sheet that I have on my phone. So for example, for Waterberg Plateau, where we are at the moment, we paid 250 Namibian dollars per person.
Yeah, which is really nothing.
It's less than 15 euros. The most expensive camping site we had was in
Botswana.
In Botswana, we spent 2,200 Namibian dollars. Again, it is important that you're in a group because most campsites don't charge per person.
They charge for place.
Yes. The price that you pay is like 1,000 Namibian dollars per campsite. So if you are 4 people, that is very cheap. If you just by yourself, then you have to pay that. I mean, why would you camp by yourself? That's not even an option. Yeah. No, it's not an option. That is not an option. However, the more you are has also a limit. Most camping places only take maximum 6 to 8 people. Not, I think mostly 6 people.
6 people is fine.
Okay, the next cost that I have here is the fourth biggest cost for the safari trip is the fuel for the car.
Yes, fuel, of course, that is variable because it depends on what kind of tour you want to plan, the things that you want to see, and how long you're going to stay. But in our case, as we said, we have spent 15 days in Namibia, and we have made a plan of a tour that is around about 2,000 kilometers.
Fuel cost us so far 380. That's what I've calculated. We are now in Waterberg, and we just need to fill. We filled up yesterday in Tsuarongo. That means we still have a full tank, and we need to fill up again in Windhoek before we give away the car.
We give back the car.
Before we give back the car, and so far, 380 euros for fuel.
For fuel. That again is, if you think you are 2 people, is higher, is more cost, but if you are 4 people, is really cheap.
Yeah. Another extra thing actually to pay for in safari is then the camping material.
Yep.
For this trip, myself and Ali didn't pay for camping material because last time we came to Namibia with
all the gears, everything, like we had the tents, the table, the chairs, everything we transported from Europe, and then we left everything here. So we already
didn't pay for that. But if you need camping materials, I don't know of any company at the moment that rent camping material alone, like on their own. The best thing to do is rent a car. When you're renting a car,
you have the option to
say a car equipped with a full camping materials, or fully equipped with camping materials, or a car without camping material. And I would say don't rent things like GPS. Yeah, you need a mattress, a tent, and you can choose. If you rent the car with tents on top, which most tourists do, because if you haven't been to Africa before, you probably think everywhere you're going to sleep, you're going to be interacting with the animals, dangerous ones. But it's not the case. Just rent ground tents. And even though we didn't pay for the camping material, I know that our friends that we are with, they have, for example, pop-up tents.
Yes,
this is the only company that I know so far with pop-up tents. They got them from where we got the car, which is Mix
Safari Tour.
Safari and Tours. Yes, in Windhoek. Pop-up tents are easy. 5 seconds, you have a pop-up tent ready. 5 seconds, it's out, and it costs you way less than if you have the car.
The car with the top tent on top.
The next thing is food.
Yes, food.
For us was cheap. About 200 euros for 2 people for food.
So 100 euro per person for 15 days.
Yes.
It's really nothing.
It's very cheap. Let me give you an example.
But why? Because we chose not to eat in lodges, in restaurants. We were preparing our own meal every single day. And sometimes we're just creating our own recipe. We did this chaklaka with the green vegetable, then we serve it with porridge. Then we also did a lot of bean soup. I mean, the guys were also creating some meals. It's just fun because camping is about sitting around the fire. Yep.
And if you have fire, you have the pots already. Just put the pot on fire and cook something. So for us, it was very cheap when it comes to food.
And let me open like a parenthesis on this topic, because
The problem with most people that come from Europe and come to Africa and want to do safari, they just know then what they can eat at the lodges or at the campsite. They don't experience anything, or it is really rare that they experience food that is outside of the touristic. Instead, one of the most beautiful experience that you can have when you are traveling in Africa is going to the open markets, the
Yep.
local open markets, and find local food or local stand where you can buy local food and really enjoy your meal and get in touch with the culture. This is a fundamental part in the in a safari tour.
Yes. So, for example, the price that I remember very well in a Katima, there's a huge open market. They serve fresh fish.
Yes.
They have fresh local vegetable.
And we have made a
chomolia.
video.
Yes, we're also going to leave that video somewhere down here or up here. Chomolia, and they serve you fresh made porridge.
Yeah.
Maize porridge. And that meal for 4 people, it costs
€10.
yes. So 160,
So you pay 200,
yes,
you pay €2.5 each person, and you have a full meal.
So this came to a total of each person pays honestly plus minus 500.
500 to
euros.
700 euros per person, excluded the ticket. So your budget for a safari per person is going to be between 1,500
to 2,000
to 2,000 euros.
That is everything.
And that is
amazing.
Absolutely
But this is
amazing.
I'm
It's
happy
not
that we
so-
are doing that because most people in Europe think of only safari from safari I need 5,000.
Yes, it's so expensive.
So expensive. But honestly, at 2,000 or 1,500, you can do that.
Yes.
It's affordable. Again, I think it's important here to highlight that the cost of this, everything we have talked about here, it's also highly, highly impacted by are you if you are booking everything with these big international safari companies, it's going to be way more expensive. But instead of doing that, look for a local company where you get the car, where you get the camping material, like directly contact them directly. That will
It's
cut
way,
your
way, way
cost,
better.
I think, by 60%
Local
less.
tour operator are way, way better than when you go in a travel agency in Europe and you ask. Because what do they do in Europe? They just call the local tour operator and they charge you more money because they are like
Commission.
making a commission out of it.
That
You know, what I now say, I
Utibundu.
would love to see more Namibian doing safari. Well, one thing that surprised me is like how Namibians are not really willing to explore their own country. That is a pity because Namibia is so beautiful, guys. Please, if you are Namibian and you are watching this video, explore your country. You are living in a beautiful place.
Is the end of
Of the
our
video.
video and also the end of the safari.
End of safari.
We have to go back to the car and start driving back to Windhoek. If you enjoy this video, guys, give us a like, subscribe to our channel, and most important, leave a comment in the description below. So until our next video, ciao,
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 ciao.
ciao. Bye.